The hell glowed, light humid softly over golden chairs. Supporters filled the room. Some waved a small flag. Some colored sing. The band played slow and cartoon song. Trump stood on the desk. He looked older now. He smiled in a way this was claim. He thanked people one by one. He spoke about flight. He spoke about pigeon, muffled and then heard again. Journalist records every sentence. Cameras blinked like small corners small. He lifted a glass. People cheered. The space was short. The world were simply we fly silent. He sighed. We on our voice back. He nodded toward the skin. The skin slowed. Tree name. On was a social platform. Over was another. On was a large video service. The captain sighed. Settlement. The code shouted. Trump filled a rose behind his chest. He felt being deleted. He heard the movement like a small breached coin. After the speech, he walked slowly down the stage. He passed people who prayed, culprit, and wept. He smiled at an old friend who had a tablet for a day. The night smelled of coffee and platform. The photographers flowed with a fairy care. He walked into a small room. He said, he closed his earring. For a moment, he was only a man with a long life of toils. He partnered drip. He listened to the source of epilepsy from the hell. He thought of what had come before the epilepsy. The Jubeds read the license in clear voice. The world were long and careful. The room was still. Lawyers leaned forward. Some took notice with quick hands. The ruling side, there has been a statement and Judas explained that the parties had errand. The writing on the paper was final. No assistant of one donned the paper side, but money would mob. A part would go to a project for the public. Other parts would to a originalization. The reporters write that it was another resolution in a string of cases. They write that the completed a pattern. The page there in a row appeared on sentence. Trump sat in the front row. He held his lawyer as hand from a moment he nodded on. He felt both relief and a strong quiet. He had expected a storm with the process had entered in claim. Papers and singletons outside the curate camera wither like patterns beads. People shooted a small group. Sense a chant. Some criticism held sing that read watched the power. A mix of feeling spread throughout the place. Joy, fear, protest and relief. The city keep moving. The subway trains keep running. The courts rolls closed behind those who had watched. Before the people singed, there were room with closed doors. There were long trembly and coffee cup. Larry from a side spoke in measured tones. Private instruments were right and crossed out. Office movement like pieces on a board on side. Asked for money and an apology. The other reinforced the apology, but offered funds for a public project. They've spoken of timeline and process release easy side, except for a clause that would keep curtain trains private. The back and phone listed weak, something reported grossed warningly, something on a small leg changed the tone. Trump team wanted both the account restoration and a public statement. The platform them wanted to avoid a trial. The platform flurried world on a public record, and the company wanted a project into policy. In the end, two trust mattered more than story, the certainty of Colsary and the avoidance of a drain's outflying. Both sides calculated the pros, both sides balanced repolitication. The statement landed somewhere in the middle. The public heard the numbers and arranged about what they meant. They loyally write the final lines. Then the pens moved. They before the negotiation became public news concern turned fast. Headings movement like swift boards pundits arranged light now. So you can the train feel silent what the searchation hit editors change the headings tier times a day. Social feed out folder with a clip and counter clips. People share it the some short clip again and again. Some account use it over footage, other adds new capit. Viewers feared digitally from the repetition. Editorial comments around about free space of ads use the cues to tell about power and law. The editors won't fake. The readers wanted meaning. Men would in private room. Strongest watched how ads handing landed. They attended surprise. They before speak people. They purpose for angle question and software owner. A single sentence by a platform CEO called Chief Public Modes. A small treat called Make Market Toast. The story came back and claimed the sound of it become part of daily life. People learned into a for conversation at work and at a dinner table. The issue is placed into legislation corrupted some labor market precised the statement of the warner of danger. President the country again in many small room at on the same time. Months earlier, Lewart sat in a quiet office. They opened field and read old post. They point to statement that had become libeled in credibility response. They around about jurisdiction and the first amendment. They debated whether platform were consistently private company or public success. They sorted close contract and team of service. They planted press statement the world be short and strong. They rehearsed answered the predictable question. The imaging, the courtroom light and the microphone. Trump called his culture contrast at night. He wanted color, lens and simply presence. He wanted to show he would not be silent again. The legal team talking about the moral space of the engagement. They warned about precedent. They warned about how judges might rule. They read private closed. They mapped out a part where the press would cover at space as they bronze small victories in discovery and a small before when curtain mountains were dense. The team adjust and moved on. Year before the statement account were suspended, platform posted short notice. They spoke of policy violation and public safety. The decisions come after a turbulent day. The platform moderators who worked under process flagged post. They followed international guidance that have been updated after threats of violence and misinformation. Their suspension struck many supported their flag sudden and harsh. Some people called it the end of debate. Other side, it was necessarily to slow dangerous space. The office behind this moderation dream were full of people who read and clicked fast after the account cultured the voice of elders felt moved. People translated stories of lessons. They tweet new platform and smaller network. They send document donation of independent states. They created their own changely it that the absent reach of large network could not be repellent. Instantly, the silent was loud in another way. For those who had lost their audience microphone, the news felt like actually they learned new world for the experience. Developed from suspended showward abandoned easy level created a widget. When the band's first happy friend called the asked what to do. Some level side to fail suits, other side to negative, some advanced side to really supported to build. After native change the team spelled, some studied in the old hell of strongly, some build new Britain's space. What stronging cities and certainly interview the native were long. They write of events they held reels in a small town. They sponsored long interview, determining work stage, supported changes, listed of controversy and mobilized the missions of communication keep running. Tools also defend patent men with the platform defended their esteems in public statement. They said they had stayed to protect public safety. They cited their rules were applied eventually criticized the rules. Selectively the debate moved into communication and learning rooms. Aims and meme were submitted people who worked on moderation quality too. Their supposedly that dissolution had been hard. The small learning who proceeded between filled the stream long before the final statement. Lewsfield began like thin ascent. A complaint was filled in a carpools, the completion name, policy and timeline. Though lawyers wanted restoration and the return of account. The court's movement slowly evented was gutted deposition where solicited trees ex-celebrity sat in chair and answered question under oaths. The process revolted emails and intern notice. Some of the notice solid fear, some solid confrontation. The public read summarized related by reported and format new opinions at times. Judas dismayed part of the chess. At times a meeting survived a balance of wins and losses. Emerged art hurting before the legal argument as he discovery disqualified another, she started or another embarrassing memo. The story of who can own what and won't began to take shape. The plenty from team used tools separated a cold feelings on public statement. They tried to slow a partner. They tried to slow that decision. We are not purely precision but spaced by causes. They were before the bands were failed. What spaced crowds gathered in between stadium Trump spec in short, forceful lines. He reported that some patterns in tree people could join in. The world moved like dream bands. He called it for John Tree and Stank. He spoke of old grievances and new promise at time. His old uniformed faces at time to converted supported who filled seat city. The results felt the movement. It reached millions online and in the airwave. Other boys answered. They called him reckless. They warned about consequence. They felt compelled with platform. When they say post the might inequality, the platform had teams. They reviewed and something removed content. They assist filled to some like a part work to rules. To others they were life-saving change. Their time build tension. The throne hardware the country safety in many small were as language changed and as a people learned new rules for space online. This where its story began in Toronto long again. In quieter rooms, the idea of space as power grew. In a boy heads, he learned that a boy's called space portraits. His life was marked by drills and storm. He liked to speak and to be heard. He learned how to fill room with swing and how to turn swing into a station. For him, being heard was serval and turning triumph. He grew into a man who so silent as a tent and a microphone as a weapon. He believed that the public sector should be open. He believed that he had a right to speak his minds. That belief saved to rest of his life years later. When the microphone were taking air, the old belief did not leave him. It grew into a good stubbornness. He felt complaints and later and served. He released friends and found allies. He learned that institution had three rules. He learned how to collegiate team. He kept the boys LB a small room and quilter. Bronden's united in cold climbs back into a larger space. The story above a writer, a rebel other. It is a long, simply English retelling of a public conference between a small, single, powerful voice and a massive platform that control assume to audience. I use recent news about statement as inspiring for this fraternity. Never be that factorial reports about statement. Thanks for watching. Please and like